Howdy Yokes. Before we get started today, we just wanted to let you know that this episode of Bacon and Eggs is brought to you by our patrons. We want to build this thing to be as big as it can possibly be. More shows, a bigger network, more content for everybody. And we want to do it for you. But we can't do it alone. If you enjoy this episode and want more of the glorious Bacon and Eggs network, head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/baconandeggs and check out our newest $10 tier, which grants you access not only to our bonus show, The Hash Browns, which we just recorded with the hosts of Sincerely Us, but it also gets you unedited episodes of Bacon and Eggs. So they come out usually like 2 days in advance, sometimes 1 day in advance, sometimes way in advance. But you can hear all the behind the scenes moments that go into making an episode. And we could really use your help to make the podcast the best it can possibly be. So thank you for donating, and thank you even more for listening. Howdy Yucks, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler Carlin.
And I'm Ethan Edgehill.
And today we're inventing Santa.
Or maybe we're just mailing a few letters.
So catch some reindeer.
And end centuries of feuding between warring households.
Because today we're bringing you...
Klaus!
Ethan, I want to tell you, I'm so glad we've gotten back to our Shakespearean roots of year 3 with this clearly Shakespearean tale, only in that there are feuding households. The entire reference I'm making.
Both alike in dignity. Fair Verona, where we lay our seed.
That is all I've got.
Hold on. All I can ever think about when somebody says that line, or I think about that line, is that play, that musical that you and me and Chase went to see Alejandro in.
What was that called? Was it called like Colon or something?
Bear. And they turned the two households soliloquy into a song in that musical.
I remember going to that musical and like really enjoying it.
I remember that in like 2000 whatever, whenever we saw that, I was shocked by the subject matter.
Yeah, I think if I went now,
I'd be like, this is the least gay thing I've seen all week.
I saw a man roller skating naked down the crosswalk earlier today.
Yeah,
that's a joke. I didn't actually see it.
I didn't either. I did see 3 men on a lime scooter today. Not on lime scooters, on a lime scooter. One lime scooter.
De Lima.
It was having trouble scooting too.
Okay, so let's get into the stats. Directed by Sergio Pablos, released November 8th, 2019, which was 25 days ago. It looks like it cost them about $40 million to make it, and obviously there's no box office because it is a Netflix-only film.
Although, apparently, it is getting a theatrical release, so it can be qualified for the Oscars.
As it should.
Yeah.
As it should.
It's getting a very limited... all it has to do is open in a theater somewhere.
Yes. It got a 92% critic rating and a 99% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a 63 on Metacritic?
Yeah, 63 on Metacritic.
Man, them tomato reviewers were much more generous.
Metacritic's based on numbers.
Yes. Do you have a negative review? Give me a negative review.
I have a negative review from David Elrich of IndieWire.com, and he says, none of the characters in Klaus are as delightful as they are well drawn, and Pablo's film never earns the holiday spirit it tries to manufacture down the home stretch.
Ooh, 100% disagree with that.
Hundo P disagree.
But let me read...
He did get one thing right, though, and we'll get there in a second.
Okay. Richard Roper's review. The wonderful Rashida Jones voices a teacher who could become a love interest for Jesper. And any movie that casts Norm Macdonald as a cynical boat captain who sounds exactly like Norm Macdonald is all right by me. Look at you, Richard Roper. Really just, you know what? I kicked my feet up. I liked this one.
Yeah, he said... Because, like, I guarantee you that the Chicago Tribune wasn't like, hey, go cover Klaus. He was like... Richard Roper was sitting there on his couch on a Saturday afternoon like... I'm gonna have to write about this thing, aren't I? Dang.
Can I tell you? Okay, so Klaus, let me ask you right off the bat. Obviously, I'm not going to give you an option. This is a binary score
for sure.
Right off the bat, though, is this the best Christmas movie?
It's definitely the first Christmas movie I've seen in a long time that can even make a running at it.
I don't know, like, best Christmas movie is such like a personal thing, and because there's so much nostalgia tied up in Christmas, because it's about like tradition. So there is no wrong answer. If you're like, the best Christmas movie in my opinion is, and this is not my opinion, but this is ye the listener, your imaginative perspective, is Jingle All the Way, then like I 100% I can see where you're coming from. I genuinely can.
I can't.
I can. I would say, hey, buddy, I know that you watch Jingle All the Way every year for Christmas, and I know you love it, and I don't want to take that away from you. But might I suggest the day before that you watch
really
Elf?
Anything else?
A Christmas Story, Love Actually. A lot of people make a run for Die Hard. Maybe see what that's all about.
This movie is it's probably the most heartwarming movie made this decade.
This is the first movie I've seen since we started doing Bacon and Eggs where there was a line in the movie that I was like, yeah, I would 100% get that tattooed on my body.
Which line?
The one that they repeat. No selfless act goes without a spark or without triggering whatever that.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I just typed IMB into Google.
I'm a bee.
Yeah, give me a second. IMDb just changed the interface on their iPhone app, and I hate it.
Well, I'll be sure to pass that along. I'm big friends with Dr. Imbaba.
If you want to run that one up the chain, that would be great.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. They have an app?
You don't have the app?
I'm thinking of Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, they do have an app.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have the app?
No, yeah, that's...
But like today I was looking for it and I literally had the thought out loud, how do I search?
Yeah, I actually just had the same thing happen to me.
So you got to click search at the bottom.
And then click it again.
And then you click it again, you got to click like in the search bar thing at the bottom.
Now, let me ask you a question.
The line, by the way, is a true selfless act always sparks another.
Yeah, I would get that tattooed on my body.
Yeah, this movie's incredible, by the way. Like, let's just start from the top. A dude drew this.
Yeah, like a human being.
Like a human being.
Wait, just one?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I mean, he had help with, like, doing, like, the lighting for it and whatever processes happen after it gets drawn that turn it into a movie.
But you think it was one dude?
I'm pretty sure this was, like, keyframe animated by one person.
How long would that have taken?
A long time. So he's been working on this since... Sergio Pablos has been working on this movie since 2012.
Holy crap. That's a long time to be working on this one movie.
Now, Tyler, if I told you that that Sergio Pablos, the person who made this movie, used to work for Disney, would you be surprised?
No, not even a little
Which
bit.
Disney movie would you say that this movie most reminds you of in its style of animation? Like the way things are drawn. Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
Yeah.
That was the exact same thought I had.
Yeah, I would...
So I don't want to sound too much like Scott Nicewander here, but it's all in the hands.
So a lot in the hands. It's also in the 3D for the structures.
Yes.
The structures are 3D.
So Sergio Pablos worked on... Hang on. Let me get you the list real quick.
He also worked on Despicable Me, which is well lit, much similar to the way this movie is, although it's a lot more front lit, and this has like nighttime scenes, which is super cool.
So he worked on Hunchback, Hercules, Tarzan, and Treasure Planet.
I would believe all of that.
Yeah.
Hunchback has like a scene in an animated movie, which I guess is pretty normal for the Disney Renaissance, but a scene in an animated movie where like a drone flies through like a clock tower and bell tower.
But you can, well, yeah, I mean, that's the joy of animation is that you don't have to push a drone through a clock tower. You can just draw.
The camera can just go wherever you want.
Right. I still don't know. Have you seen Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yes.
I still don't know how they did the scene where like the camera comes from the bed in the back of the bus all the way to the front of the bus, out the front windshield of the bus.
I have no idea.
Yeah, no clue.
That movie did win for best editing, and it had some really bad scenes and some really good scenes in terms of editing. It also like recreated Live Aid, which I thought was really cool, and didn't know what it was, but now I do.
But yeah, so this dude definitely left his mark at Disney because, like, the two things I would say this looks the most like to me are Emperor's New Groove and Atlantis.
Oh, Emperor's New Groove. I wouldn't have thought that, but because
it's in the hands, man. It's all in the hands.
It is in the hands, but Atlantis, I would say,
that
100%.
Knocks it out
of the park.
If you told me that this is the exact same person that did Atlantis, I would have been like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so this is basically this was made by his personal production company.
Gotcha. So just coming back to Klaus, J.K. Simmons is Santa Claus. What do you think of that?
I loved the cast top to bottom.
Did you? Joan Cusack, I hear her voice and immediately... Oh, that's Joan Cusack, School of Rock, easy.
This is the second night in a row that I've watched a Joan Cusack Netflix Christmas movie.
What else is she in?
She was in Let It Snow.
Yes, she was. As
the tinfoil woman.
Yes, she was. I'm only know this because I'm looking at her stuff right now. She also... Okay, so Joan Cusack as Jessie... That's Jessie. That's not Joan Cusack.
Yeah, no, this was straight up just Joan Cusack. That's not a problem for me, though. I love Joan Cusack.
So do I. School of Rock. That's easy.
Well, she's been in a ton of stuff.
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, no, I loved the whole cast. I loved Rashida Jones. Jason Schwartzman knocked this one out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
Just...
I mean, the whole thing was truly excellent.
There was a brief moment where I really, really thought that they got Edward Norton to do the lead.
I thought it was David Spade.
Right at the beginning,
times.
I was like, no, I knew it wasn't David Spade because I immediately made the Emperor's New Groove connection in my head just based on the way things looked, and I was like, no, that's not him. And I looked up who it was, but I really for a second thought it was Edward Norton, and I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way they got Edward Norton to do this.
Are you kidding? Like, avant-garde Christmas film with a genuinely good story? That's like right up Ed Norton's alley.
Yeah, but it means like coming outside and acting.
I know. He'd be like, I want to be Santa.
Yeah. J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus, phenomenal work there.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to deliver presents. I want pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah. That was the thing, is he was so far from J. Jonah Jameson in this. So far from like Whiplash.
He was. I had to look it up. Well, I didn't look. I looked it up now. But even as the film was ending, I was thinking it's oh my gosh, what is his name? John Goodman.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. But no, it's just he did a marvelous job. I loved Norm Macdonald being Norm Macdonald.
I will say this: I guess it's still the first act. The arrival in Sneerensburg.
That's definitely first act.
Yeah, up through until he starts actually mailing letters. I would say honestly a little bit creepy, a little too creepy.
It depends on. I don't think it's too creepy. I don't think this is promised to any particular audience.
No, I don't think it's promised to any particular audience, but I do know it's like an animated Christmas movie, and I was going to watch it with like all the kids in my extended family, and I'm glad that I did not because of the first act. The second two acts, I think, would have been fine. I think any audience could watch that.
Yeah, when they first show up to Smearensburg, it's definitely... I was like, this is a Borderlands mission. Like,
yeah, this is not the happiest place in the world.
Right up to the mailboxes. I was like, this is literally a Borderlands mission.
You better hurry or Marcus is going to be pissed.
Right, like if Norm Macdonald started giving me quests in Borderlands, I would not have asked questions. It's like he's a sideburny boat captain. Like,
Minion!
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, it's definitely creepy. It's definitely a little off. I mean, again, it's just like beautifully animated, the whole thing.
Yeah, the animation style is unbelievable, and I love what there's this oddly satisfying part of the film where she's chopping up the fish.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh my gosh, the knives just cut so perfectly.
Yeah,
and you watch it, and you're so like, at least for me, I'm so suspended in disbelief that I'm like, how is the knife able to cut through that so easily?
Yeah,
it's like because it's a drawing.
It's a drawing, and also a movie.
Right, it can do anything.
Yeah, and it's like not that most, but you know, ever since computer animation has come out and become the prevalent thing, like style has definitely become less and less.
I would disagree. I think style has become more and more.
No, not at all. In no way. I'm not even hearing your argument on this. Like, everything looks... we are approaching a zenith in which everything looks the same.
Oh, I could not disagree more. Despicable Me looks absolutely nothing like Inside Out. Absolutely looks nothing like...
Yeah, it does, though. It just does. Like, compared to...
No, it doesn't.
Compared to when everything was drawn. I'm not saying, like, everything was better because it was drawn, but it's like, this movie was able to focus so much more on style, not only because it's hand-drawn in 2019, but it also, like, it is not for theaters.
Correct.
So, like, it was able to push boundaries that it doesn't matter if it does well.
Well, yeah. Like Netflix is going to get paid either way.
Right.
People are not going to cancel their subscription because Klaus came out. Although they might have because of that Will Smith like RIPD version thing.
Oh, Bright?
It wasn't RIPD. Bright, yeah.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Oh, I didn't see it. I saw that it got bad reviews, and so I didn't watch it. It seemed pretty easy follow-up to me.
Well, I watched it before I saw reviews on it.
Oh,
I was like, Will Smith in a Netflix movie? Yeah, okay.
Like a buddy cop film.
It opened on my screen, and I was like, yeah, all right, cool.
Cool, we're gonna do this now.
Right
that
there.
Sounds like fun.
I didn't technically mean to open Netflix on my Xbox, but here we are.
You ever been playing a video game and you're like, you know what would be easier than playing this video game is just watching the television. You know what's less work than pressing buttons? Not pressing buttons.
It's like you have like normal video game and then like Pokemon and then TV.
Would you say Pokemon is easier or harder?
In terms of like having to press buttons, easier. Because like, well, I guess it's in the new game, things can kind of rush at you. But prior to that, like, stuff didn't
You could just
happen.
You could just stand there.
Nothing happened. You could put the controller down and your character will stand there forever.
Yes.
Without anything happening.
Yes, the world cannot interact
So it's like
with
I can put a controller down and take a bite of something. And if I'm playing Madden, I have to pause the game.
Yes, that's true. Or you just cover 2 defense and let the game play
attach
itself.
yourself to a linebacker and let it go. But it's like if I'm on offense, I'm just getting 8 delay of game penalties while I'm eating a sandwich.
Right.
But
Klaus,
yeah.
Was there, did you feel like it was slow getting started?
No, not at all. I was immediately captivated. I felt like it took a long time to get to Klaus, but
Yeah, I would agree with that.
it was like, this movie's about Jesper. But that's a bad name for a movie.
Do you feel like, so at the end, Jesper is, like, Klaus is pissed at Jesper because he was using him to deliver mail. I felt like simultaneously, like, Klaus is not angry enough and Klaus is overreacting, because I wasn't sure where I stood on like Jesper doing that, because I wasn't clear during the process. Did Klaus not know that he was like filling a quota?
Yeah, he didn't know.
And you think he would have had a problem with that?
Yeah, 100%. If Jesper had been straight up with him like, yeah, I have to do 6,000 letters, then I'm out.
I did think it was weird that Jesper had to like think about whether or not he wanted to stay.
When
like he's
when
sitting,
did that happen?
So he's sitting in the chair, like going into the like final action sequence before they show up and are like, you already sent 14,000 letters. Good job. He's sitting in the chair and he's like, you know, do I want everything that I ever had, or am I happy just staying here? And to me, it was like, obviously you're happy staying there. Why would you
That's a pretty standard trope in the movies, though, that like, even when push comes to shove, the main character that's the fish out of water is predestined to automatically want to go back. Like when you get you give the guy the opportunity to do something and then go back, it always takes that person a long time to realize they don't want to go back.
Right.
So like, I don't think that's out of place. I did think it took Jesper a long time to learn, because like the whole time I'm sitting there like, can you just get it yet? Because like it was pretty straightforward to me. I don't think this is a bad thing at all, but it was pretty straightforward to me where the movie was going with it. And then after I figured that out, Jesper was still just kind of like, well, you know, buzz off, Sammy girl.
No, I don't want to be here at all.
I don't want to be here at all. And I'm like, can
you
just, you're doing good. Can you just get it? Like at all? Just a little bit.
You're doing the good. Yeah, he was so blinded when he first arrived by his own misery that he couldn't see that like everyone was miserable, and that when he started to spread joy,
it fixed itself immediately. And she had to be like, what, Alma is her name? No,
I don't know.
Alva. Yeah, Alva had to be like, do you not see what you've done for these people? And then he looked around like, oh, dang, okay.
Oh, I've made a big
because
impact.
he was so worried. At first, he was so worried about getting out, and he was so worried about Klaus getting credit for everything, and then he was worried about them not having a toy. He had a lot of things to focus on. I get it.
I don't think he was worried about Klaus getting credit. I think he liked the sort of duality of it, where the kids would be like, oh, I don't know how he slips down the chimney. He's this big guy. And he liked that he was like the secret Klaus. I didn't think he was selfish in that moment.
Oh, I definitely got the selfish vibe.
Oh, see, I thought it was like he really enjoyed hearing that they thought it was just one person. Like I felt like he was
I definitely see
buying into.
I definitely see where you're coming from, and like, it's just, I think the sort of,
because I remember watching it and thinking he's going to get jealous of Klaus, and that's where the conflict is going to come in.
Because the way that they portrayed it in the movie is a way in which would usually be used to indicate jealousy.
Yes, I would agree.
When they were like, oh, Klaus, you know, sneaks down the chimney. He can sneak down the chimney even though he's so big, and then it cuts to a picture of Jesper doing the work, and then something else, and then Jesper doing the work.
Yes, but Jesper was getting paid.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. But it just the immediacy of that in movies kind of led me down that path of like, Jesper's not crazy about this.
See that was what surprised me towards the end, was like, how on earth did you not enjoy this?
Right.
More?
Well, and he even realizes that he does, because when Klaus is like, bet you won't miss those long nights, and Jesper's like, yeah, totally, won't miss them at all.
I'm telling my kids. That's where Santa came from. Ain't no doubt about that. Ain't no doubt about that.
They covered every single base of the Santa myth in this movie.
Yeah. Where are the elves from? Where are...
everything, down to the cookies, man.
Yeah.
Like how, and it was such a great instance of like how folklore and mythology spreads like that like something happens and the kids are like, oh man, Santa loves cookies, because Jesper was like, I want a cookie.
Yeah, because he
just
stole
that simple.
a cookie.
It's like people talk, kids talk all day. And then that was the thing that saved him in the end, was that the kids talked.
Right.
When they were both like, yeah, no, when they're planning a revolution, their kids talk about it.
Yes.
And that was the real thing. It's just, hey, families, just spend some time with your family. Just be decent.
And there was certainly a commentary on like systemic like racism, or at least that's what I got out of it.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's like you don't need. Well, that's any story about a blood feud,
right? Is you don't have to dislike people just because your family dislikes people or because you were raised to dislike people.
You remember that song that
Read by Blake Shelton?
No.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I think about it all the time.
There's a song
Austin by Blake Shelton. I do think about it all the time. If this is Austin, I still
if
love
you're calling
you.
about the car, I sold it. If this is Tuesday
This
night,
is Tuesday
I'm
night,
bowling.
I'm bowling. If you got something to sell, you're wasting your time.
I'm not buying.
I'm not buying.
If it's anybody else, wait for the tone.
For the tone.
You know what to
You
do.
know what to do.
P.S.
Yes.
If this is Austin, I still love you. Great song.
Great song.
I saw him do that acoustic live in front of my eye. That was a cool minute.
In front of your eyeballs?
In front of my eyeballs.
What song were you talking about? Was it Playboys of the Southwestern World by Blake Shelton?
Believe it or not, it is not a Blake Shelton song.
Some Beach by Blake Shelton.
It's not a Blake Shelton song. Anyway, there was a song that Chase Rutherford, our old roommate, sang at an NKE open mic night that horrified everyone. It's called Decoration Day by the Drive-By Truckers. And it is a song about a blood feud, but it's actually interesting because it's a song about a guy that realizes that the blood feud is stupid. Like, on down the line, he's like, we don't deserve to be alive any more than these guys do. We're terrible people. It's like a haunting song, and that's what I thought about during this movie.
I thought about Romeo and Juliet.
I mean, same, but only so much as like, oh, two households, both alike in dignity.
I also thought about Romeo and Julio.
Smearnskaggen, where we lay our scene.
The new Billy Shakes play.
What'd you say?
Romeo and Julio. The new Billy Shakes play.
Romeo and Julio. That's
won't believe.
That's $1 million idea.
It's the exact same play, performed as it originally was. Just instead of saying Juliet, they say Julio, but it is an all-male cast, just as it originally was.
They just don't give Juliet a dress.
Right.
That's the only difference.
Julio just wears a... Actually, he does wear a dress.
Romeo,
he just doesn't shave his beard.
Wherefore art thou, Romeo? And also, why for art thou a man?
This was an unexpected turn of events.
Twould be so much easier were I in love with a woman.
I did not expect myself to fall this way, but here we are. I'm like my jeans, straight with a built-in flex. Thank you, Old Navy. Also, just generally, thank you, Old Navy.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you for $9 jeans.
Also, this is just a disclaimer. Dear Mary Clay Watt, host of That's What I'm Talking About, recently you asked me where to get inexpensive flannel shirts. I know that the ladies' flannel shirts are thinner than the men's flannel shirts, and this very much frustrates you. I'm here to tell you that you can just buy a men's flannel shirt, like a super thick men's flannel shirt from Orvis, currently at Costco for $10. You can go to Costco and get a super thick men's flannel shirt for $10.
Or, in approximately 3 months, you can go to the other half of Old Navy and buy one for like 12 cents.
Emily got maternity shorts that were like 43 cents.
Yeah, I have, it's like a red and blue flannel shirt. I think it's the only flannel shirt I own and wear regularly. And it's from Old Navy, and it's super comfy, and it is it's not stainable, and it won't rip, and it's perfect, and it's amazing, and I paid $1.12 for it.
I got this flannel shirt at Old Navy.
In like April. And the guy at the counter was like, it's April, why are you buying a flannel? I'm like, because it's $1.12. I literally won't notice it coming out of my account. I spent more than that on a Coca-Cola.
Just now. This Coca-Cola.
This Coca-Cola from that vending machine outside the front door of this Old Navy. I can't even go get a taco at Taco Bell for that.
You can get a taco for $1.12, right?
Whoa, not Newport News. Not with the tax they have there.
I was going to say I don't pay taxes, but that's not true. So
it's not true on any level, and like you don't get a choice on the food tax. They're not like, hey, would you like to actually pay your food tax today?
Would you like to donate to the United States government? Would you like to donate 25% to the United States government today?
Yeah, it's like I would go get like a McChicken, and it's like that'd be $4. Thank you. Anyway, I like this movie a lot. I'm a big fan of Klaus. I'm glad that we got bullied into watching it.
Yeah, people were like, hey, have you seen Klaus yet? And I was like, I could listen to Casey Winters talk to me about Klaus until the end of time.
And it was definitely one of those things where, like, nobody ever talks this much about the Netflix Christmas movies. The point where I was like, okay, this one might be legit.
When I saw film Twitter being like, I stan Klaus.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
It was the same people talking about Klaus were the same people last year who were like, The Christmas Prince is the greatest movie I've ever seen. Not followed very shortly by The Christmas Prince 2, All Prince Day.
What?
I don't know what The Christmas Prince 2 is called, but I went with The Boondock Saints 2, All Saints Day. Pastiche there. Because I was tired of my Electric Boogaloo joke.
When you said Prince, I was thinking like Paw Prince, and I was thinking The Christmas Prince was a dog.
You know, I'll tell you what, The Christmas Prince would probably be a lot better if The Christmas Prince was a dog.
The Christmas Prince, Beethoven returns home.
The Christmas Prince. The Christmas Prince, the Royal Baby. Oh, there's 3 of them. There's 3. The Christmas Prince, the Royal Wedding, and A Christmas Prince, the Royal Baby. And then there was there was the Princess Switch. Because apparently
there was one last year.
Apparently, princesses automatically mean Christmas.
There was one last year that was like 100 hours long, or at least it felt it. It was about this girl that ends up in like Sokovia, and she's like the tutor to the kid, and then the prince falls in love. Is that this one?
What?
She ends up in like Renee Zellweger, and like...
Bro, if you think I've seen any of these movies, you are on the special kind of drugs.
Did you see the preview for the, you know what I'm talking about, Black Widow film?
I have not.
I watched the
I know
trailer.
that is another thing that Mary Clay Watt, the host of That's What I'm Talking About, is upset about.
She's not happy.
Yeah, she's not happy.
Oh, I did not know this.
Well, she's not happy, there's reasons. I don't think that she thinks the trailer's bad. She's not happy at the situation.
Oh, I'm so confused.
Well, you can go to her Twitter.
I don't know of any problematic stories
it's
here.
At twitter.com/McWatt416, I think.
McWatt? Is that like a McDonald's brand light bulb?
I mean, that's her Twitter handle.
I know it is. Okay, A Christmas Prince is the movie I was thinking of, just in case you were curious.
A Christmas Prince. And now they have a kid. I literally cannot imagine what the conflict in A Christmas Prince, the Royal Baby is.
Who's the mother? Who's the father?
I was gonna say they usually know who the mother is
in the city.
Who's the mom? Who's the dad? It's Christmas time in this movie. There's a segment, I don't know if they've done it this year because I haven't listened to any of the new episodes recently, but there's a segment they did last year on My Brother, and Me that they called That's a Christmas to Me. And in that segment, Justin would read the pilot or like the pitch for 3 different Netflix or Hallmark Christmas movies, and they had to guess which one was real.
They've done that with the pilots.
Huh?
They've done that just with like regular TV show pilots.
Have they?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember That's a Christmas to Me because there was a movie last year that Justin invented that ended up getting made this year. I don't think it actually happened, but I think he just came up with such a good idea that it like actually was a real thing that they were thinking about.
So, Klaus.
Klaus is not a bad Netflix Christmas movie. There are dozens of those. You should not watch them. You should watch Klaus instead.
You should watch Klaus every day.
Well,
our friend Matt's watched a different movie every day for 365 days. The only better idea I can think is to watch Klaus
he's not quite
every
done
day.
Yet.
It's true.
He's
very close.
Got a few days left. That's a crazy thing that Matt's is doing. Crazy thing.
Yeah,
it's just like, awesome. I don't know how he has made it happen. Especially since the other day he was like stuck in an airport.
It's a good time to watch a film.
I mean, for sure, if you can get the Wi-Fi to work.
I think when you're Matt's, you've got 5 or 6 bad boys ready to go.
I mean, I'm sure you
anytime.
do, but I wouldn't think about that.
No.
Because I would have given up in January. If something would have happened. And I'd have been like, well, guess I'm not watching a movie today.
Right. I guess I'm going to the mall instead.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, resolution.
Yeah, it's wild that he has done that.
It's
props
awesome.
to you, Matt, because he's definitely listening right now. Because I think he watched Klaus today.
Well, he should have. I recommend Klaus to all persons. I'm looking at these photos from a royal wedding or whatever it's called, a royal Christmas Prince.
A Christmas Prince, the royal wedding, sir. A Christmas Prince, all Prince Day, I believe is what I called it.
Would you say Prince Christmas or Mick Jagger Christmas is more iconic?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know how to rephrase the question.
Like, what does that mean though? Like, what do you mean?
Like, would you say an album from Prince or an album from Mick Jagger would be more iconic?
Prince. Mick Jagger's not a solo artist.
That's true. Real quick, is Dak Shepard not the lead singer in Nickelback?
He is not. He doesn't look anything like him either.
See, but
it's
in my
just
brain,
the hair. It's just the hair.
I know it is. It's like Dak Shepard's hair, Nick Cage's face, Nickelback.
That is Chad Kroger. Yeah, that is 100%. That is what Chad Kroger looks like.
That's what I think of every time. Look at this graph.
It'll always make me laugh. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the heck is on Joey's head? And this is where I grew up. You know what? Here's the real thing, though. That's a really good album.
Is it?
All the Right Reasons by Nickelback? Yeah. Bangers. Front to back.
It is. It's got Photograph. It's got Animals.
Photograph is by far the weakest song on that album.
Did you know that I always thought the song Animals by Nickelback was about a soccer game? I mean, I didn't think that for probably more than the first time I listened to the song. But
did you know that I had
song,
Photograph by Nickelback as one of 5 songs downloaded on my PSP?
I had The Diary of Jane by Breaking Benjamin.
I believe that was also one of them. And Through the Fire and the Flames by Dragon Force.
Oh, man.
And I would ride the bus home, and I would play Dynasty Warrior on my PSP and listen to Photograph by Nickelback.
Yes. Yes, you would. Yes, you would. Give me a... I know this exists. There's got to exist.
What does?
A Nickelback Christmas song.
I was thinking about this recently, like, because usually when bands do Christmas albums and stuff, you know, they always put, like, they try to put, like, a original song on there.
Right, because if your song becomes, like, a Christmas classic,
right, then you win. Yeah, and, like, most bands are terrible at it, but let me tell you what, the Beach Boys nailed it.
What was their original Christmas song?
Little Saint Nick.
Not Simply Having a One... No, that's Paul McCartney. What's the other one the Beach Boys always have on the radio?
I don't know. I know Little Saint Nick. But it's like, it sounds like a regular Beach Boys song. If I wasn't paying attention to the words, I would not notice it go through in the catalog.
Oh, you're right. This is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, like that is, they nailed that Christmas song so hard that it just sounds like an actual song from them.
Are you a big Beach Boys guy? Do you feel like it's got to be the summertime or this song? What do you think of the Cheech Boys?
I'm a big fan.
I'm a Grande fan.
A lot of that is nostalgia. That was a lot of what I listened to growing up.
I would say I'm a Venti fan.
It's a lot of what I listened to growing up. It's like my dad's favorite band of all time. So there's a lot going on for me there with the Beach Boys. I'm a big fan. I don't know. No, it doesn't really have to be the summer. I mean, they definitely have, like, the majority of the popular songs in their canon are summer songs. You know, it's like I can't listen to Kenny Chesney in December.
No, I mean,
it like hurts. It like makes me sad.
Live Those Songs comes on, and I'm like, man, wouldn't it be nice to
Kenny Chesney is like a beach country. Like, I can listen to Jason Aldean all year. I don't, but like I could. If I put a Jason Aldean song on right now, it's not going to hurt my heart.
If you put on Amarillo Sky right now, you're telling me you're set?
No, I mean, I'll cry. That song's really sad.
What about... Hold on.
But like, if you put on My Kind of Party...
What if you put on Austin by Blake Shelton?
I'll absolutely cry. Every time.
It gets me every freaking time.
She knows what to do, man.
Oh my gosh.
Like, when it comes back around and she does the thing, she's like, if you're calling about my heart, it's still yours. I should've listened to it a little more. I'm getting choked up right now. Like, I have like chills right now.
By the way, boy, this is no machine you're talking to.
Yeah, every time,
Heck
man.
Yes.
But no, I could listen to it. Like, if you put on My Kind of Party by Jason Aldean right now, I'll jam out. That's fine. But if you put on Beer in Mexico right now, I'll be sad.
You'd be like, man. You know what I always think of when I hear Beer in Mexico? Klaus. No, I think about...
I think of J.K. Simmons in the movie Klaus.
I think about when we were of age and all the Fireball went missing at my beach house.
That was a good time. That was a good time.
That was a good time. Yeah, it was a good time.
I think about that when I listen to Round Here by Florida Georgia Line.
It's funny you say that because I'm currently listening to Boys Round Here by Blake Shelton.
The boys around here don't listen to the Beatles, run old boat Stevens through a jukebox, needle at the honky tonk. Where they been stomp all night. And that's right.
This song sucks.
And what they call work, digging in the dirt, gotta get it in the round before the rain comes down to get paid, to get the girl in the four-wheel drive. Country boy can survive.
Do you know this song?
Which song?
I had to sneeze. Is this a Blake Shelton original, Santa's Got a Choo-Choo Train?
I believe so.
Heck yeah, this is a banger. You know what the best Christmas song is? Let's just get it out of the way. James Penguin.
I forgot about James Penguin. That used to play. So when I worked in State Farm, we would listen. We would, every day Brent would come in and be like, "Alexa, play Christmas music," and I would listen to James Penguin, like 8 times a day.
Did you have to do the hee-haw, hee-haw?
Oh yeah,
the Christmas donkey song.
Hee-haw, hee-haw, it's Dominic the donkey. Chickity chick, hee-haw, hee-haw, the Italian Christmas donkey. La 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 la. Yeah, I had to listen to that. It came on in the car on the other day when Kate and I were driving back to Roanoke, and she was like, "You're gonna skip Dominic the donkey?" Like, yeah,
you're not.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna listen to James Penguin right now. James Penguin. Brad Paisley did like a whole Christmas album where they were like all originals. And not all of them, but like he had Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy, which is you never heard Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy?
No.
Go listen to that real quick.
Well, I do want to. I don't want to just. This podcast is not Tyler listens to music and actively reviews it. That's a whole other show.
No, it's Brad Paisley's take on I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus.
Oh, this is the Paisley album.
Yeah, this is the Paisley album. Yeah, with Penguin James Penguin.
Penguin James Penguin. What a stupid song.
The best one on there though is Kung Pao Buckaroo Holiday.
Do you remember?
Featuring the Kung Pao Buckaroos, which I believe was like Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson.
He has so many freaking funny songs. Tell me that country music isn't just comedy rock music in a lower key.
Sometimes. There's definitely people that get away with that. Toby Keith is like
Toby
Keith could be a
gets away with
comedian.
that. Oh yeah.
Like if you had like, if you did Toby Keith, the Three Balloons tour, whatever that guy's name was, the guy that did Vanilla Ice Cream.
Stephen Lynch.
Sure. Yeah, if he was like, "Oh, I'm doing musical comedy now," and then just played like Beer for My Horses.
You had to get Willie up there.
And Red Solo Cup.
Yeah, ain't as good as I once was.
Well, Red Solo Cup, you do something good and I drink beer out of you. I've seen you in black and I've seen you in yellow, but red, my friend, is the only one for this fellow. It's like Dr. Seuss rhymes the whole time.
Brett Paisley had a song called I'm Gonna Miss Her, where...
Yeah, because he's out
dear
fishing.
Dear listener, the story is that the man comes home from fishing one day and his wife says, "If you go fishing tomorrow, I'm going to leave you." And the next line is,
"Well, I'm gonna miss her
when
I get home."
And I remember being a youth and being like, he's justified because that kind of ultimatum is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Who did that song Fish? Or the one that's like, "My baby loves to fish."
I don't know, man.
But also, we kind of came up after the like the Dixie Chicks had that Earl Has to Die song. That's not comedy.
Do you think Earl had to die?
I don't really think that was up to them.
No, I don't think so either. Definitely,
I sympathize less with them thinking Earl has to die than the sister in The Night the Lights Went Down in Georgia by Reba McEntire. You can't trust your son to know backwards Southern lawyer.
All I'm saying is Earl probably should have been locked up a little bit more securely.
Yeah, definitely. But like, there's that half a country. Like the Thunder Rolls by Garth Brooks. That's not a funny song.
No, but there's a lot of funny songs. A lot of puns in country music.
Oh, for
country
sure.
music is what I call it.
But that's sort of like a more recent thing.
There's Drunk on a Plane. That's a funny song.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs with punchlines in country music, where there's a twist.
Yeah, we're like, oh.
Anyway, James Swindell 4 hours ago listening to Feliz Navidad by Jose Feliciano.
You know what's crazy? I was also just looking at James had listened to that 4 hours ago.
Hey, Tyler Carlin currently listening to Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy.
I'm not. I'm listening to I'm Still a Guy by Brad Paisley, which is just a really sad
Santa
song to listen
like
to.
Daddy. Daddy looked a lot like him. I mean, they made a whole movie out of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Did they?
Yeah, it was a movie. It was like an animated 30-minute special, like Olive the Other Reindeer. Anyway, Klaus. Tell me about Klaus. Tell me what you thought about Klaus.
So,
Tell me what you thought about when you were older. Now you're gone. Worst is over. You can have the best of me.
Okay.
That's the best of me by the starting line. Certified banger.
Okay. Klaus, So watching this movie, like literally every scene, it was like I would stop paying attention for a moment because I would get distracted by my phone or my child or my wife or something. My dog would do something cute. Every time I looked back, I was like, holy crap, this is so incredibly good.
Yeah.
This is so amazing.
I would take a like computer wallpaper of that last shot of Klaus walking off into the mist with all the birdhouses.
Yeah.
That was on par with the end of Frozen 2.
Dude, I need to update my opinion on Frozen 2. Since I saw it and since I've listened to the soundtrack 1,000 times, I love it a bajillion.
Yeah,
I love Frozen 2.
It's really
better
good.
Every day. I love Frozen 2.
I've been known this.
I also loved Hamilton. I saw Hamilton this weekend. That was amazing. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's a very good show.
I have heard about it.
Of Alexander
I'm
Scamilton.
Yeah, I'm aware of it happening.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to see it. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh my God, it was amazing. You should go see it. I recommend highly.
Do not have the time or money for that.
me neither, trust me. But I will say about Hamilton, religious type experience, I feel bad for all of the money I'm going to spend on seeing that again that could go to different Broadway shows, but also I don't feel bad.
I mean, okay.
I'm just going to spend my money on what I want to spend my money on and not feel guilty about it.
Nobody's telling you to feel guilty.
Well, I am. The voice in my head is like, people are going to think you're stupid because you saw Hamilton 15 times.
I mean, if you see Hamilton 15 times and don't see anything else on Broadway ever, I think that you're kind of missing something. Like,
you're missing the point. But also, I'd be able to be like, yeah, I've seen it 15 times.
I'm sure there have been people that have already had you beat.
Oh, I'm certain there are. There are definitely people who are in the show who have seen it a lot.
Okay, well, we're not talking about the people that are in the show.
Yeah, but they are still people. That was a hump I couldn't get over for a long time. I was like, why would you're never going to beat the people that are in it, so there's no sense in trying.
I mean, see it a bunch because you love it, not because you want to make some weird record.
I have to win.
You're not gonna.
We have to win.
You're not gonna win.
I know. Somebody's got season tickets.
Yeah.
Somebody sees it every day.
Probably not.
You don't think there's one dude that like people sit down and they're like, oh my gosh, and I'm in New York City, and he leans over and he's like, this is my 56th day in a row seeing Hamilton.
Right, but like to see Hamilton 56 days in a row, you also have to have like a job, and it's pretty hard to have a job and also see a Broadway play every
like a
day.
3-hour Broadway play every single day. He works the night shift. That's what he does.
I mean, maybe.
He also works the day shift. He never sleeps.
Yeah, he takes a 3-hour break to go see Hamilton.
It's his lunch break every day.
It's a long lunch.
You know, it's not an unheard of lunch. The intermission really throws him off. The play's like 2 hours and 45 minutes without the 30-minute break in the middle.
Right. I could use an intermission in some 2-hour and 45 minute long movies.
I will tell you, the intermission of the play experience was unbelievably delightful. I was like, this is amazing. We're like right in the middle. There's a suspense thing or there's like a resolve thing. And now we get to, obviously I've been to plays before. I know intermission exists, but it's been a while since I've been to a play. And it was a really, really nice thing. I would highly recommend intermission to theaters who are trying to recoup their dollars, because that's a great way to get everybody to step up and literally just go spend $15 on popcorn and come back and sit down again.
Really, yeah. It's like if you just put a clock on the screen that says 10 minutes.
Right. You can go get popcorn now.
I could just go pee. Like,
yeah, you can go pee. You could, I mean, when I watch movies at home, if I watch how long did it take you to watch this 97-minute movie?
14 hours. I watched an hour of it, and then I went and did everything else.
And then you watched the other 37 minutes?
Yeah. No, it wasn't 14 hours, but it was a long time. Like, I got up this morning at like 8:30 and watched an hour of Klaus, and then I did a bunch of other things.
You know what I did today at 8:30? This is an exciting story.
You got pooped on.
No.
Oh.
I went to the Department of Motor Vehicles and purchased a car that's been in my possession for the past 11 months.
You go to the DMV more than anybody I know.
I have 3 cars.
I feel like you are always at the DMV.
Honestly, I think in this year I've only been like, 3 times? I have to go again soon, though. I have to get my TSA pre-check, and I have to get my Real ID, or what's it called? What's the new, like, Star ID?
Yeah, Real ID.
Real ID. I have to get that. So I have to get both of those things. I should have done that today because I had like 2 extra hours. I could have knocked that out.
You don't need the Real ID.
Why?
I think if you have pre-check, you need your passport.
But don't you need Real ID to check in at airports?
No, you can use your passport.
Oh, I'm still going to get the Real ID.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying I don't think you need it. Your
new
passport is the highest form of identification you can possibly have as a U.S. civilian.
This is a sad thing about my passport, though, is it's going to expire soon because it's been a long time since we went to London.
Yeah, it expires in like 2 years.
Yeah, I got it for that, and I have only left the country once since then.
I think I've left the country twice. I went to the Dominican Republic and I went to Canada.
Canada.
But I also have TSA pre-check because it's like $70 for 5 years.
Yeah, and apparently it's way awesome. It makes airports that aren't Roanoke like Roanoke.
Yeah. It's not great when they just decide that it's not running for some reason.
When they're like, yeah, you can't pre-check today.
And it's like, I get that, but I also shouldn't then have to like disassemble my backpack.
Wait, do you have to disassemble your backpack if you don't have pre-check? You don't have to disassemble your backpack.
If you have pre-check, you can leave everything in your backpack.
Oh God, I need to do this like today.
Yeah,
I need this now.
Well, it's not going to show up by the time that you go to
Las Vegas tomorrow.
And you also have to make sure that you put the number in when you get your ticket.
Okay, I tell you what, I really need is TSA pre-check. I don't have to fly again until January, so I should be good then.
Yeah, but just like when you're booking the ticket, make sure the number goes in. This is very technical information that podcast listeners don't need. But
hey, dear listener, do you have TSA pre-check?
Don't get it. It's horrible. Nobody use it.
Nobody needs it. Nobody needs it. It's just for me.
Nobody else in that line.
It is astonishing to me. I mean, I don't have it, but it is astonishing to me how, if you're going to fly more than once a year, why you wouldn't have it.
But no, it took me basically I got it after I came back from Rhode Island in the early fall, and I got like strip searched at the airport because I had so much camera gear with me.
See, that's my concern, is because I'm going to start traveling soon with like all of my work stuff, which is like, you know, like a laptop for work. Actually, that's it. It's a laptop and a charger. But then also my bacon and egg stuff, which is like its own laptop and its own microphone and its own stand and all of these cables that go with everything and its own charger.
Yeah.
So I feel like I just don't want to have to deal with that. Plus maybe a camera. There's a lot of buildings in these places.
Okay.
You can take pictures of buildings. A lot of people don't know that. You can just
pop
outside and click, shutter.
Yeah, so it was like
Shutter Island.
Coming back in Rhode Island, and the Providence, Rhode Island airport was like, what is all this stuff? I was like, it's a camera and some lenses. And the dude's like, open the lenses. I'm like, they don't open.
That's not how that works.
It's a piece of glass on both ends.
And a lot of mirrors on the inside.
So then I got TSA pre-check, and it has not been a problem since then. Anyway.
So, this is our first Christmas movie of the year. Are we going to continue to do Christmas movies? Or was this just like, we got peer pressured into doing it 3 weeks early? What's the plan here? What's the play?
So next week, we're going to do a Christmas movie with a guest.
We are?
Yes.
Oh,
we're going to try.
What's our movie next? Did you want to guess this week?
No, but we have like a plan.
We do?
Yes. I'm trying not to edit this episode that much, so like I'm not going to just go in your Twitter DMs, bud.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Did you forget this conversation entirely?
I didn't know we picked a date.
Well, this is why I'm telling you. We need to pick this date because the week after that's Jumanji and the week after that's Star Wars.
Oh, Jumanji.
And then we have an episode coming out, an episode that is not Star Wars because we're going to do Star Wars on the 21st. So we have to find some time between now and the end of the world to do an episode for December 26th, that is probably also going to be a Christmas movie and a Christmas brunch.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
No. Or we could do something else on December 26th, but we do need to record a Christmas brunch, and we're trying to push Star Wars to the 21st.
Yeah, we're trying to get Star Wars out ASAP Rocky.
Which means we still need to have an episode up that Thursday, in all likelihood.
So let me talk to you about box office for Star Wars, because this is also technical stuff that the listeners don't need to hear. Box office for Star Wars. Do you think Star Wars beats Endgame?
No, not a chance.
On one hand, I think not a chance. On the other hand, I think like immediately.
Everybody loved Infinity War was the thing, and nobody loved The Last Jedi.
I wouldn't say nobody.
Last Jedi made $1.3 billion. There's absolutely no precedent for Star Wars even coming close.
But Star Wars, I guess you're right. Plus, I think, you know what I think Disney's done, and I think it's a smart move by the mouse, is that they have decided, screw the people that don't like it. We're just going to make it for the people that do like it.
Yes. I mean, I think it's going to be good. I think it will do better than The Last Jedi at the box office. I do not think it will do as well as The Force Awakens.
That I don't know, because it is the end of the saga, so I feel like there's a certain demographic of, oh my god, this stupid microphone will never sit where I want it to. There's a certain demographic of like old heads that like maybe wouldn't have seen the first two in theaters, but now they're like, okay, it's the last one. I feel like this is a cinematic experience I should have.
That demographic either does not exist or is so small that it's not going to matter. Everybody saw The Force Awakens.
That's true.
I had to go at like 3 o'clock in the morning 2 days later, and I bought my tickets 30 days ahead of time.
Have you bought your tickets for Rise of Skywalker yet?
We live in Roanoke. So no.
No. They have like reserved seating at our Regal now, which is the dumbest thing in the world. It might be useful for Rise of Skywalker, but usually it's like, oh yeah, you're going into a completely empty theater. Where would you like to sit?
Except
Wherever
when you
I
see
want.
Frozen 2 at 7:30 on Friday, the day it comes out, and they put 14 people in the 8 seats next to you.
Yeah, that's not the nicest thing that they've ever done, especially since those seats are approximately the size of half of one man.
Yeah, I was in the back row too, like literally the back row.
Oh, we never go back row.
Why?
I think if there was a back row only option, I would be like, oh, because we're not seeing this movie.
You're acting like high and mighty about this, and there's just no reason for it.
I'm not acting high and mighty.
The way you said that, you're like, oh, I never go back row. And you're like categorically wrong. The back row is the best row.
Oh, I disagree.
That's cool. I think the long arc of history bends toward me being correct.
Really?
Yeah, I know a lot of people that prefer back row to anywhere else.
I've never met anybody except you now that prefers back row.
Yeah, I just don't think that's true. I just don't think you talk to people about it.
I'm not a front row guy.
Where are you?
In the middle. I would say from the steps, probably 3 or 4 rows up.
3 or 4 is not enough
from the
rows.
Not from the front row. So you walk into the theater and you're between the front rows and the back rows.
Those don't count. No,
yeah,
nobody sits there, especially not at Valley View.
Nobody sits there on purpose. Yeah, 3 or 4 rows up. I would prefer to sit in the middle, but we usually sit on the end because it's not uncommon for Emily to get like motion sick from a movie and need to run to the restroom. So we usually sit on the end, pretty close to the door. That's why we sit there. And I've never had a bad experience. I've never been sitting there like, I can't see the screen well enough.
No, I just like the back. There's usually not as many people.
Because the people don't like it as much.
Yeah, I do.
Would you say?
No, like the people that have an opinion, they know.
I don't think they do.
They know.
I'm very curious. Dear listeners, tell me where you sit in the movie theater. I'm very curious,
Tyler,
now.
I'll be straight up with you. If you create a Twitter poll about this, I will quit the show. I will delete the podcast. I will burn the whole thing down.
I'm not going to make a Twitter poll, but I am curious. At Bacon and Eggs Pod.
That's
Let
fine.
me know.
They can add us all day long, but if you create a Twitter poll for it, you have been warned that retribution will be swift and it will be with fire.
With fire. There is no way to literally burn a podcast.
I will invent a way. I will burn the podcast in effigy on IGTV.
On IGTV. Is that still real? Do people use that?
Yes.
Do you watch IGTV? Or are you ever
the only time I've watched
yourself,
IGTV is when it's like when somebody has posted their Instagram video, like they posted their IGTV video to Instagram, and it's like, do you want to watch the remaining 2.5 minutes of this? And I'm like, yes.
Yes, obviously.
This is
yes, I do.
It happened recently with Vaishon, his drawing of the astronaut. He did like a procedural for it.
Yeah.
And it was like 2.5 minutes, and it was like, do you want to watch the remaining 2 minutes on IGTV? And I was like, yep, no brainer. And it's like a seamless transition. It goes straight into it. Opens the new app and goes straight into it.
Well, it's not an app, but it's like a different corner of the app.
No, it's an app.
IGTV is its own app?
Yeah, that's how you create stuff for IGTV. At least it used to be. I don't know. I still have the app. Maybe? Hold on. Maybe I'm wrong about this.
I feel like you are.
It used to be.
I've never downloaded a different Instagram app except Layout.
Okay, it used to. Layout's not an Instagram.
Well, it's linked to Instagram. If you press the Layout button inside
IGTV
Instagram,
used to be
it
an
takes
app,
you there.
But it is still an app. I don't know that it's necessary anymore, but I used to have it. That used to be the only way you could get IGTV things. I'm downloading it. I do not. So it doesn't open it in a new app, but it does like seamlessly do it. But I think you can get a specific like IGTV feed that way. Maybe I'll start creating for IGTV.
You're gonna start posting to
Igtiva, yeah.
What kind of stuff are you gonna make?
I know that Heret and Link use Igtiva a lot.
They do, yeah. I think I don't know why they do.
They have,
I would imagine.
I'll tell you why. They have a team of 75 people that doesn't include them. They're posting content on every platform because that's someone's whole job.
You think if you're the guy that works there and you're like, yeah, my job is the Instagram TV feed.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool thing to have. Like I've seen their IGTV videos. They're like good. They're like cool. It's like the show after the show after the show after the show. If you follow down the GMM rabbit hole.
Do you behind the scenes? Oh, speaking of asking dear listener, at Bacon and Eggs Pod, behind the scenes type things, I would like to change up our high level Patreon tiers.
As would we being me.
That we being you. What is something you see from other creators that you don't see from us that you'd like to see from us?
Yeah. Like 25 to stuff dollars.
25 to like roughly 100.
One hundo dollies. Hundy dollies.
We can do every dollar amount. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37.
Can't do that. Actually, I'll die.
50,
Yeah,
51,
new-
52, 53, 54,
New
55, 56.
$36.50 tier. It's called We Hate Bacon and Eggs to the tune of $36.50.
We hate bacon and eggs?
Yeah, because you're making Patreon difficult by pledging that amount. For that amount, you can tell us whatever mean thing you... No, you can't do this. That'd be terrible. This would suffer... My mental health would suffer.
Yes. People would be like, yeah, I'll be mean to Ethan for $36.50.
Even... But that's the thing is, like, even if they did it to pretend, it would still hurt.
Yeah. It would definitely hurt. People being mean to people always hurts.
Yep.
I take like inbound phone calls all day, and when somebody's mean to me on the phone,
God.
I know that they are
There's
like
nothing worse than a stranger being mean to you on the phone.
and like I'm not like I know that it's not my fault. I know that you are like a dog on a chain that can't actually hurt me, and I know that my heart's racing and I don't know why.
Here's the thing, though, is like when I worked at State Farm, sometimes people would be mean on the phone, and they would come into the office and yell at you in person.
That sucks.
Yeah, like we had a storefront.
That really sucks. Yeah. No, visitors are not allowed in my building.
Yeah, that's how call centers should be. If you're telemarketing, you should be protected by a few layers.
I'm not telemarketing. They called me.
That's still telemarketing. You're still selling things on the phone.
I am
That's
still selling things on the phone. You can still purchase things from me. Well, not ye, the listener. You cannot call where I work. I will not talk to you.
But yeah, it's like I still don't really like to do phone calls, and you know, if my girlfriend wants to call me, I'm just kind of like, oh God, why? She's like, it's what? And I'm like, you're gonna be mean to me. It's what people do to me on the phone. They're mean to me.
They're mean. They yell.
They yell at me about their rates. It's not my fault. I don't make the rates.
Can you adjust the rate? No.
No, I literally can't. Well, Geico can. No, they can't. They're lying. They're overcharging you in the first place.
Also, if they can, why are you even talking to me? If they've already given you what you want.
That's the thing is like I worked for State Farm, and State Farm prides himself on being the company that doesn't do like BS discounts and also doesn't overcharge you for stuff. Like what you pay for is what you get.
Right.
But like, and with Geico, it's like they build in stuff so that if you call in, they have an escape button where they can just like, you can just be like, well, I'm gonna quit, and they're gonna be like, actually, we're gonna lower your bill by $15 a month. And it's like, and of course, the line I always used was like, well, if they're going to do that for you, why were they doing that for you to begin with?
Right.
Like, if they really cared about you, they would have done that from the beginning. That's what I'm doing. When in reality, like, our price was still higher.
Right. It doesn't matter because the government employees insurance company is still a better rate.
Yeah, but I can usually convince people with that way. Like, oh man, if Geico's going to do that, and then because it would happen all the time, where people would be like, I would give them a quote, and they would call their Geico agent and be like, well, I got this quote from State Farm. And Geico's like, yeah, I can beat that, whatever.
See if I care.
And they would call me back and be like, well, Geico said they can do $5 less than you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, is it not worth $5 to know you're not being lied to the whole time?
Look at you, the salesman.
I hated it so much. I'm not cut out for telephone sales.
Do you want to do like in-person sales?
I don't really want to do any sales.
No?
But specifically, I do not want to like cold call people ever again.
Yeah, cold calling is the worst.
It sucks. I mean, and it's like, you know, I know that it wasn't technically cold calling. It's like, even when I'm calling our own customers, it's like, it's a cold call if they're not expecting a call. Right. No matter what. It's like, oh, this is lukewarm call. There was a whole scale for it. I'm just like, but is it though? Because they're still mad that I called them.
That's how it was when I was selling cars. We would get warm leads from the rental team, but we would tell them, you have to tell them that we're going to call. Like, that was sort of like our policy was like, you could send the lead over to us if the customer was...
How often did they do that?
I would say, honestly, I was probably close to 80%.
Whoa,
but every so
good
often,
Lord.
I know. But every so often you get on the phone with somebody and you'd be like, hey, this is Tyler from the dealership. I know you rented a car from us recently. And they'd be like, is everything okay with my rental? And you'd be like, I have no idea. But I work at the dealership. I understand you recently totaled your car. I just wanted to touch base with you about options for new ones. And they'd be like, how dare you call me? Like, okay.
Who the heck do you think you are?
We have really good prices and really good rates. I'm happy to help. I know that you need a car. I have cars. It seemed like a win-win situation for me to give you a call.
I have car.
My house is beginning to look like a dealership with all the cars out front.
I was recently around one of the Carvana machines.
Oh, that's cool.
In Philadelphia, and I like watched somebody buy a car.
That's cool.
And by a car, I mean they put the comically large coin into the machine, and their car was distributed to them like a gashapon.
What is a gashapon?
That's the thing with the stuff in it at like Kroger, where you put the coin in, you turn it, and then a bubble pops out with like a 12-cent ring in it.
That's got a word?
Yeah. Bro, the Japanese have a word for everything they invented.
I guess. What a wild thing.
I learned that from the Adventure Zone.
It's funny because I was just listening to that part of the Adventure Zone.
Fantasy
and I
Costco, where all your dreams come true.
Oh man,
there's a song for it eventually. There's like Fantasy Costco background music.
You know what's crazy about Fantasy Costco and the whole Adventure Zone thing is I'm listening to it. I very much love it. I've very much invested myself in D&D podcasts recently, specifically this one because this is the one that's most highly recommended. But I wonder why I'm doing that.
I don't know. It's crazy.
It's crazy how a man who's never played Dungeons and Dragons all of a sudden is so interested, specifically in this medium. What could that mean?
I don't know. You find out soon, won't we?
I guess we will.
I've got a D20 right here. Let's see what it says. 2. You won't find out ever.
We'll find out ever, maybe.
Okay, let's see what I roll for my vibe check. That's a critical 20.
Is it really?
No, it was a 7.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yep.
I don't know what a vibe is. Yeah, that's the whole
No cap.
sentence. No cap.
I know that vibe check means the same thing as like, it's essentially like, hey, does my outfit look cool? Teenagers?
Do you think teenagers, so when we were teenagers, were we inventing new phrases because we were like the adults say the old phrases? Or were we inventing new phrases because like all of our energy was into social life?
Yeah, we just found different ways to say things and then we just started saying them.
Right, like we because we said
like our
so many
generation
things
invented
to each
squad
other.
goals and stuff like that.
Yeah, squad goals and bay.
Yeah, it just happens, man. It's just like stuff because, you know, you do it all the time. You're like trying to find a cool way to say something. And then you find one that really hits.
Is there a cool way to say anything?
What?
Is there a cool way to say anything?
It's entirely subjective.
I do believe that as soon as I say whatever the youth say, because I now have a child, it immediately becomes old.
I mean, I don't think you have that much power, but probably. Like, I don't think you could just ruin vibe check.
Let me try something. Vibe check.
I don't know. There's no teens around.
Vibe check, dear teens.
We won't know for 2 days what the teens feel about that.
Is vibe check ruined?
Yo, is vibe check ruined? No cap.
No cap. Vibe check. Dollar bill, y'all.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, you ruined it for me too. I'm 26. I am literally 3 months younger than you, and you ruined it for me.
Well, you're also cool though. You're cool. You do cool stuff. You're like a roving.
I mean, I don't say dollar bill, y'all in earnest.
Klaus, let's circle back to Klaus because I adore this film. I think that it is an extremely important movie, and I think it goes so well hand in hand with our be positive mentality we have here, Bacon and Eggs. And I would say unequivocally, what does that mean?
Without
in the
equal
sense that it has no equal.
Yeah.
I would say it is the best Christmas movie I've seen in years.
Yeah, like the best new Christmas movie that's come out probably since at least Elf. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I'm trying to think if anything else like stands up to it. Like when I think of my Christmas classics, does anything really compete?
I mean, there's different kinds of Christmas movies. You know, there's the Christmas movies that'll make you laugh. There's the ones that'll make you cry. There's the ones that are heartwarming. There's the ones that are just, you know, kind of.
But this one does it all.
Planetary. But like this is sort of on par with movies like It's a Wonderful Life, where you just feel at the end like, oh man, I just watched a Christmas movie. You just get that feeling.
Yeah, I've never seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, you should watch it.
Yeah, I know. Everybody says that every year. It remains on my list. If I'm not mistaken, it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes long, right?
No.
No? I thought you said the other day it was.
I didn't say that. Merritt Clay said that.
Oh. How long is it? Let me know.
Wonderful Life. 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Okay, so it is over 2 hours.
I mean,
but not
it's
as many.
a big movie. A lot goes on.
I'm not opposed. I've got a flight to Las Vegas here Thursday morning. Maybe I'll knock that out then.
You want to ugly cry on a plane?
I always opt for ugly cry on a plane.
Okay,
last time I was on a plane, I watched
It's a Wonderful Life.
Christopher Robin.
If you cry, oh my god, just hurt me.
Ouch.
Ouch, indeed. How was that movie as a dad?
It was like, why was I on a plane recently? Where did I go?
I don't know.
I guess when did I last
Probably before
fly?
you were a dad.
But Emily was pregnant. Yeah. And we knew that it was a girl.
Yeah.
So
it's like listening to
and I still worked at Grand.
Yeah.
I was still selling furniture, so it was like a dad in the furniture business. He was selling suitcases, but I equated it. It was close enough.
I believe he worked in the suitcase division of a furniture company.
Yes, I believe that is correct. Like assesses his life and as he reflects on childhood as a parent to a daughter, and it absolutely destroyed me.
Right, it's like I listened to Cats in the Cradle by Cat Stevens, Harry Chapin.
No, I'm not allowed to listen to that anymore.
Right, it's like I never experienced that. Like my dad didn't go 48 hours in my entire life without telling me how much he loved me. He would like My dad would take off every time the schools closed for snow so we could hang out in the snow. Like, I never had that experience ever, and that song still breaks me.
It probably breaks you for a different reason, though.
No, way before anything like that happened.
Okay.
I'm in college, man. And I'm listening to it, I hear it, and I'm just like, I'm a bad son. I should have never moved away. Why did I move away from my family? Who am I to do this?
You are the man that you are to do that, and you do what you got to do what you got to do.
But like, I never experienced anything that happened in that song. I never was in doubt as to how much my father loved me, ever. But that song's still like murderous.
Yeah, it messes you right up. So that was me crying on a plane.
Yeah, yeah. It's a Wonderful Life is one of those movies, man. Like, I don't know. It's a movie I would very much like to cover at some point on this show.
I'm 100% not opposed to that. I don't want rumors spreading that Tyler's opposed to reviewing movies. I do love movies. Maybe we'll do Christmas in July 2020.
We've been threatening to do that for a minute now.
Have we?
We talk about that every year.
Oh man.
When we get to Christmas movie, we're like, man, we only have 1 week to do Christmas movies. Let's do Christmas in July.
I can't hear you.
What happened?
I pulled my headphones out.
Oh, okay. Are you still recording?
Yes, I am, because I use an adapter, which means my headphones, or my box doesn't know that I took my headphones out.
I don't think your box would care.
No?
No. It wouldn't stop recording. But I was worried that you like unplugged the box.
No, I did not. I will say that my desk here is very small. Actually, my desk is a pretty good size, which causes the space that I can sit in to be very small. But I don't know how having more space behind me would even help. I'm constantly frustrated about my desk situation because it's like claustrophobic, but I do have enough space to like sit and lean back and stuff. So I don't know what the solution is, Ethan.
I don't even know what the complaint is.
I don't know either. I always want to like scooch around and move and stuff. And this is a very small and narrow room. You may know if you've ever been in this room, it is very small and narrow.
We did a Google Hangout in that room one time.
We have a new Google Hangout spot. Oh man. Wow.
It was way better.
What a great have you ever sat in my dining room chairs? You have.
They're great
that's
chairs.
Where it is. They're the best chairs. Oh man. I'm just thinking about how great those chairs are for a second. Hold on.
Just thinking about those beans. I can't hear you.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, you made mouth noises. Mouth
I know.
shapes.
I know. I was trying to get you to. My mustache is too long, Ethan. This has been driving me crazy. My mustache is too long, which is causing it to like knot, and it hurts.
Been there.
I don't like it. Should I trim it?
Yeah.
I guess I should.
That's what that means. Yeah. That's God's way of telling you to trim the stash, boy.
I was thinking about shaving it all off. I really have been thinking about this a lot. About just going barefaced, but I'm about to go skiing in 2 weeks, and I'm afraid to have no facial hair.
I do not think that the amount of facial hair that you have is going to make a marked difference on how cold you are skiing.
No, I think the mountain doesn't care about my very thin beard. But
because I'll tell you, I go outside when it's cold, and I have a large beard, and I'm still cold.
You know what's crazy is I've shaved down in the cold weather before, and I do notice, because I think it's not the hair that's
for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
but
it's
the
not
same
the hair
as getting
that's
a haircut.
but it's no, it's worse than a haircut. If you go like straight to baby butt,
I wouldn't know. It's been 4.5 years.
Yeah, if you go down to baby butt, man, it's
the last time I shaved my whole beard off was graduation day.
It wasn't a good look.
No, but I was working catering for the year before that.
Ah,
so it was the choice between having 3 days of scruff or shaving all for graduation.
Okay, so Klaus, let's take a look at the rankings, the board, the breakfast, the whole thing. The show, what makes the show the show.
Okay, so where is the rating? Also, I would like to move Frozen 2.
Oh, Frozen 2 to where?
Above Coco.
Okay, so still not Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle.
I like having Jumanji. I think that Frozen 2 is better than Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, but I like having Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle at the top. It makes me happy.
I just love that movie so much.
But I think that we will probably eventually move Jumanji.
I would agree. So you want to put this where?
In between that and Frozen.
Okay, so this is the new 2.
The new 2, yeah. It should be the new 1, but I really like having Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle at the top. Oh no, wait, we don't rank these. We don't rank
this. Oh
this.
yeah, this is a Christmas movie.
Is this better than the Polar Express? Yes. Is it better than Elf? Yes. Is it better than all 3 Grinch movies? Yes. Number 1 Christmas movie.
Number 1 Christmas movie. Yay!
I mean, we can put it on the board if you want.
I would say we can. I don't think this is like.
Yeah, this one deserves to be on the board more than like the Polar Express does.
Yes, I would agree.
Because this is probably gonna win some Oscars.
And that's what we gauge our success on here on this show. Is it Oscar worthy? Actually, we probably do more often
I
than
mean,
not.
if it's Oscar worthy, it probably deserves to be on the board. If Hocus Pocus gets to be on the board, although technically, I think we should have ranked Hocus Pocus with the holiday movies.
You know, that actually makes it a much more even race.
It's worse than the Polar Express still.
It is, but it is much closer to the Polar Express than She's the Man.
I haven't seen She's the Man. I might need to watch it just to like clarify.
You might should. Maybe you'll watch it and you'll come back and you'll be like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it. I saw it in theaters, but
that's where the tampons in the nose thing comes from.
I don't think that's where that comes from. I think that was a thing, and then they put it in the movie.
Do you have a breakfast food for Klaus? Because this, to me, is a big Christmas meal. Like a homemade Sourdough Santa.
That's the thing you guys do, right? You do sourdough Santa?
We do sourdough Santa.
Yeah, it's sourdough Santa.
Yeah, it is homemade. It is
Santa Claus made out of puff pastry, brie cheese, and preserves.
Yeah. Man, do I love this movie.
This is just like normally Netflix original movies, not the TV shows. The TV shows bang. Only the Netflix original movies are like really only so good. And I was expecting I didn't know. First of all, I did not know it was animated until it started.
Did you not?
I didn't know anything about it. I was just like, okay, we're watching this. People keep talking about it. So I expected extraordinarily good Hallmark movie.
Oh no, I knew that it was. I had a feeling. I was like, this is going to be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but animated.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I mean, not but animated, but about Christmas. You got this look on your face like, what on earth is he talking about? And I thought you were like, wow, what a great connection. But instead you were like, you idiot.
I was like, bud?
It is animated. They're all animated. But Christmas.
Yeah, they're both animated. Sorry, we just got
so that's the big board. That's the breakfast ranking. The villains. The villains. The Grinches.
Oh, the clans.
Yeah.
Well, they needed to suck. Like, just they had to have no redeeming quality.
Yeah,
because they had to be the people that were still mad, even though the rest of the town was happy.
Yeah, they had to be mad that people were happy at all.
I don't think that conflict needed to exist at all.
I don't think it did
because
either.
It could have been like Klaus's dad could have showed up. Not Klaus. Jesper's dad could have showed up and been like, "Oh, proud of you, son. Really just pulling through with those 6,000 letters." And Klaus overhears him like, "I'm sorry, 6,000 what?"
Right.
And then Alba's like,
6,000
"I'm sorry,
pictures
6,000
of Spider-Man.
What?" And Leslie Knope shows up just like, "And you beautiful pancake."
6,000 pictures of Spider-Man.
You wanted 6,000 letters. I want 6,000 pictures of Spider-Man. And I think that might have made that movie better. But then you don't have a big dramatic chase scene, you know.
I did like the chase scene.
It was kind of necessary.
Scene.
It was big Grinch vibes. Except he's just like, you really think I would give them the toys? I could listen to J.K. Simmons do the ho 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 all day. That was some real
he nailed
joyous
some ho
laughter.
ho ho. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Jesper's
entirely.
like, wait, that's how you laugh? I love Jason Schwartzman so much. Crushed this part. Crushed it.
I loved this whole movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
The complaints I have are
negligent to non-existent.
Yeah, like I know we brought up a lot of topics like, oh, what'd you think about this? I don't know if I like this. I liked the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole package ended up perfect. I mean, it's a Netflix original movie, like a 92% Rotten Tomato score. You can't ask for much better.
Correct.
They got Richard Roper to review it. But yeah, it's a cool movie. Cool movie. Very, very
I would
happy
agree.
we watched it.
I am too. So what else you got for me? Let's wrap this show up.
I don't have anything else.
Okay, well then let's do the wrap up part.
Let's do the wrap up part. Ladies and gentlemen and yokes and friends and everybody else, if you want more podcasts from the Bacon and Eggs Network, then you should go listen to That's What I'm Talking About right now. I'm going to give you a quick little sampler, but I love this show so much. I'm very happy that we get to produce it. I'm very happy that Mary Clay enjoys making it because it is a joyous experience to listen to. So I'm going to give you a quick teaser. You're going to come back.
That's What I'm Talking About follows me, Mary Clay Watt, on my journey through Lord of the Rings for the very first time. Join me each week as I have fans on as guests so we can talk all things rings, and I can share all of my confused and completely inaccurate thoughts with them. Like this one.
I was very convinced that Gollum had killed Boromir and then was wearing his skin like a
legitimate?
suit.
What?
I was like, this is some Loki trickster magic.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
Gollum has taken out Boromir and is now impersonating Boromir and is trying to get the ring from Frodo.
That's What I'm Talking About. New episodes every Tuesday wherever you get podcasts.
Okay, and you're back. And if you liked that, you should go listen to that show. But also, we got some big news coming for you soon.
Yeah, you're going to hear previews for other things soon.
Big news. Big, huge, mondo news. Large news.
The biggest news.
Like the big one. The big one, the news. Flames on the side of my face. News. What else, Tyler?
Bacon and Eggs is a production of Baconandeggsmedia, a podcast network for creators by creators or something like that. We're working on the slogan.
We're working on the name, too.
We're working on the name, too. But it's out there. There's a name and a slogan out there. A collection of podcasts. If you want to see more Bacon and Eggs podcasts, go to baconandeggs.media. Website's being updated all the time. I'm working on that myself. It's quite the undertaking, even though it is Squarespace, but we don't have an affiliate code, so I'm not going to tell you they're wonderful. You can go to baconandeggs.media to listen to all of our other shows. You can also follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at baconandeggs.pod. You can follow Ethan and I. I'm at Amara Carlin. Ethan is at Eggshell Photos and Wow Now, but the O's are zeros. I think that's all still true. Yeah. Boom. Nailed that. Additionally, if you love this show, I talked about it right at the beginning, but seriously, if you love this show, we are trying so desperately hard to grow our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/baconandeggs. We are working all the time to put up new and interesting content there. And just a few dollars goes a very, very far way. If this show brings you value, or if you like us and you want us to be able to continue to do this, we like really, really genuinely do need that support. That money goes towards just helping justify the show for Ethan and I, updating equipment, and supporting other podcast creators so that we can continue to do what we love. So if you are able to throw us a few dollars, it makes a huge difference. Additionally, still active is our promo code Becca for 15% off on our merch store at teespring.com/stores/bacon-and-eggs. So you can use that. Again, that's a Becca, BECCA, for 15% off. And that's a nod to a listener, Becca Eddowes, who's just a fantastic human being and deserved a nice 15% off code. Our music is by Andrew Scott Bell.
Do you want to
His
tell
link
us
is
why
down
you
below.
did that code?
Oh, yeah. If you love Becca and if you love Bacon and Eggs, then you would also actually love Sincerely Us. I was on their show this week to talk about Hamilton. I got to see it this past weekend for my birthday, and then the Casual Musical Theater podcast, Sincerely Us, requested to have me on their show. It's hosted by Ness and Becca, who are both big-time members in the Bacon and Eggs community. You can meet them by joining our Discord server on our Patreon, or you can listen to their podcast, which is absolutely excellent. If you have reviewed our podcast and want to know how to further support reviewing podcasts, I would review their podcast because it is super duper good and they deserve all of the praise and love in the world. And you should go listen to that episode now. Our music, like I said, is by Andrew Scott Bell. His link is in the description below. Our graphics are done by Vaishon Brandon. He is like the king of podcast graphics, and if you need anything for podcasting or YouTube or anything like that, you should hit him up. His email is graphite.vmb@gmail.com, I want to say. That's going to be in the description below as well. That is everything that I've got. Ethan, is there anything you want to add?
No, I think that's it. Is there something I'm supposed to be adding?
No, that's it.
Oh, okay. Cool. Then that's all I got. I've been Ethan Edgehill. He's been Tyler Carlin. Until next week, arrivederci.
Arendelle.
Wrong movie.